here's, I think, the $1 million question people watching this want to know is, Ace, I'm a rapper. I'm good. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I make really good music. How did they get on your radar? How did they get on Reach Records' radar, your radar? Look, you know what I'm saying?
Ruslan.
A wise man once told me this. Really, just be so good we can't ignore you. You know what I'm saying? There is no magic advice. You can argue. You need following. You can argue. It's just sometimes for me, it's just an instinct feeling of like feeling like, yo, I think this is something that has charisma that can translate in the marketplace. And so sometimes having a lot of following is good. Sometimes it don't have to be that. It's just a lot of times up to the discretion of us to just decide, and for me, seeing what I think looks good and what would translate, and betting on that. And it's an instinct feeling. I think too many A&Rs of today's time rely too much on data. You have to have brain power and you have to use science, and you have to use your heart too, man, because you just don't know. Sometimes the data can lead you astray where you're like, oh, I mean, I think I've seen may have been an artist that signed recently. Signed, and I looked at this artist before, but I wouldn't probably have.
I know who you're talking about.
Because I mean, the data. I mean, you know what?
It was off of one really big record, huh?
I mean, the data works in terms of this thing is generating something.
Sure.
So you have to be considerate.
Sure.
Then you have to figure out, is this something I want to build? Because I think with Reach, man, we're not about the sprint. We're just. I mean, look at when KB started, bro. KB was with HBA killing it, but look at KB from HBA, like who was KB first mixtape, which I produced on, to now. Like that's what you call artist development, artist growth, trajectory. He has his own business. He's employing people. He's got his own fashion line. He's doing stadium tours, and that's amazing. Like I think we want to get behind artists who we feel like have an actual career that are more than just a moment. So it's just being patient. And seeing what we like, and people can always send. I'll check it out. But sometimes the no isn't, quote, your song is bad or you're not talented. That's not. There's a lot of people with dope music. It's what do you think would move culture? Yeah, and does this artist have a vision in themselves to move culture, and do you guys see that vision? It's very important. And it's say there's artists like I feel like. What about G? I use this example a lot only because he's the first artist that I started in 2017, and I kind of came in with him and kind of helped bring him on. But at a young age, he has a vision for how he wants to be presented, understands his art. So it's like there's people that see me their stuff, and I'm like, yo, that's good. But what's next? It being good is not enough. Yeah, that's good. It has to be remarkably impactful, you know what I'm saying? So that we're just in it for the marathon, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what we're like. I don't want to just get behind something just because it's hot. I'm cool. That's good, man. That's there's a lot in that. Do you have any advice for artists that are trying to come up, that are just trying to figure it out? I mean, I would say I'm encouraged by all the dope things. I see a lot of dope talent out there. I would say don't give up on what you believe is right. And one thing I had to learn, which worked to where I'm at, which is surrender, work as hard as you can, trust God for the results. The first part, I thought people they don't focus on that. Work as hard as you can, trust God for the results. And in that trust God for the results, trust with them for however they play out. So, because God is the one who elevates. So he might elevate your platform to be at a Reach Records level, or he may elevate your platform, no shade, to be like your community leader that does shows on the weekends. I don't know what that elevation look like. You just have to trust God for it and be at peace with whatever that looks like. And I mean, he's the one that chooses who he elevates, man. So I'm grateful to even be in this position. Honestly, like I felt like I'm thankful and grateful. I've had this vision since I was a kid to be doing it full time, and it's a dream come true. But I went through a season where, that sounds so churchy, season, right? I went through a moment where I basically surrendered my dream of working in music to God and trusted him enough with it. When I don't think if I did that, I would have ever got it back.
I feel like I've tried to quit rapping so many times, and I always end up back making music. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think there's something about that. Like, God, I want this to be your dream for me, not me trying to force your hand.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I think had I not did that, it was a sermon I heard in 2009 that revived my thinking and kind of transformed my thinking. Where it's like, oh, low key, I made an idol out of my music career.
Yeah.
Dang. So my happiness and identity is rooted in me being successful in music. Yeah. That's an unhealthy space to be in.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, I have a blind spot. You know what? I need to pray about that. And
That's
I surrendered that whole thing.
That's good.
I was like, you know what, God? Yeah, in my head, I want to be Timbaland one day. But you know, if I don't be Timbaland, I'm cool, man. That's cool. I still make music.
I feel like that moment is then when God can really work with you.
He can work with you.
Yeah.
He can work with a humble heart.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I had to get to. I encourage everybody to get to that space.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You have an artist, speaking of labels and people getting on your radar, there's an artist that you got on your radar and there's somebody you built a relationship, but they don't fit in the genre of what Reach Records is known for. And so you're producing a new artist that's an Afrobeat artist. Can you talk about him?
Yeah, so my family's from Liberia, West Africa. I'm first generation American, but you know, rhythmically, musically, the African culture's in my blood, in my veins. So I've always had a knack for Afrobeat music. I put out an Afrobeat fusion album in 2015 called ATL Liberia. That's Atlanta via Liberia. And through that album, ironically, an artist hit me up on the internet. It was like a 17-year-old kid, and I've been building with him for about 2 years. And we've amassed a little bit of a following and interest.
Can you name the artist?
His name is Toya Toya. He's from Nigeria. He's dope.
Dope. Is he based in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. So we're just building his music, building his catalog, doing shows, and trying to put out an EP out. This year it's gonna be really dope. Kid's got amazing charisma, amazing energy, and he's just somebody that, back to what I said earlier, he stood out to me at an age when his vocal chops were still developing. He didn't really have much, but I was just like,
you saw something.
Yeah,
you saw the vision.
It hit me. This is something, and now. Like it's a small feat, but he's got some major people kind of looking at him already. We have like 2 songs out, and we're just taking our time and just building the music. Yeah. So when we do kind of put more music out there, we have our quality. There's quality control, no pun, built into it. You know what I'm saying? So
why? The question is going to be like, well, man, Ace, you work at Reach. Why not just sign him at Reach? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Because I know why, but I want you to explain that.
I mean. I don't think it's first. I don't think its content is applicable to Reach. It's Afrobeat music, which is like festive, party, and celebratory. Yeah. And it's not something that I think would translate in our marketplace. So it's just not. But I mean, it doesn't mean I could see an artist with an Afrobeat style work at Reach. It's just the content would have to be more on brand. So yeah, I mean, I have no qualms about it. I produce music for our artists. I love Jesus, but I do work in spaces that are not necessarily Christian music, but I try to focus on the why versus the what. You know what I'm saying? And
that and somebody's gonna push back. I know we're gonna get a comment of like, well, how can you produce, you know, in A&R, KB, who's a holy Christian rapper, and then do secular stuff? Like, how do you reconcile that in your spirituality?
Well, not to get all biblical on you, but one of my favorite Bible characters is Joseph, who was pretty much number 2 in command at the largest world system.
Yeah.
And he was literally in charge of a worldly system. His boss was not a believer in God or anything. So he stewarded worldly possessions and influence and industries, but he maintained his integrity through it all. So I think it's better me in those spaces, honestly. Yeah. So I can have a conversation with people, which I do a lot, honestly. Sometimes the Reach Studio is like when we bring in people from different backgrounds to like collaborate and work with you, you'll run into some deep conversations where the gospel's preached. Yeah. And it's you know, that's it.
We had a dope conversation today where you said, because you have a 4-year-old, my son's 4, he's about to be 5, and you said, I'm thinking about who's going to be the Lecrae to him.
Facts.
And can we get that worldview on the mainstream level? You're thinking generationally. You're thinking 5-10 years from now. That sat with me, bro, and I was like, man, that's beautiful.
Why not? When a city like that, it gets me like fired up, because I believe
I never thought like who's gonna be the Christian artist for Levi. You know what I'm saying? Like who's gonna be who they look at. You know what I mean?
By then I'm gonna be washed. And I'm saying, actually, maybe I'll be doing something. Who knows? Who knows what I'll be doing? But the premise is there's so much media pumping into the airwaves, right? Into our kids' ears, and who's waving a banner within pop culture, hip hop culture?
Yeah.
And that's literally not just edifying the body, which is great. Shout out to those who do. Shout out to Trip. Shout out to KB. We need all that. That's great. Unashamed is a wide spectrum that has many different implications. So I think that expression has evolved where people are like, oh, I can be unashamed by edifying, by equipping the church. I can be unashamed in growing out of the church and influencing pop culture and mainstream culture. I think both are fine. But I also have a heart for seeing mainstream culture have more ambassadors that speak to mainstream culture from the church. So a biblical worldview that's on radio.
And when when you guys see Reach doing this, like stop assuming that they're doing this for the bag, because that's not always the case. Like it's actually the opposite of that. Like trying to penetrate mainstream music, mainstream radio doesn't equate to more dollars. Sometimes it actually equates to taking some L's. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how committed they are to their mission and vision of wanting to change the way people see the world, that they are willing to take L's. And I think we need to applaud that and be less critical and saying, well, this isn't Christian enough. Unashamed, that's not what it, you know what I mean? Like, we need to chill with that and just be grateful that they're in the space and they are catering to the Christian community. They just did Unashamed tour again all over churches, and they're pressing in and going deeper into other markets. You know what I'm saying? That's important.
So like and to echo what you said, it's just about being real about where you are and where you feel God's taking you. So we did the Unashamed thing, which is amazing. I mean, you saw like thousands of kids and adults that were like, and honestly, with our artists, sometimes there's a broader spectrum of philosophy, all uniting on stage to say, look, we may not all agree on everything, but what we do agree on is that Jesus is Lord. Yes. And we're going to express that truth through the medium of hip hop. Yes. And y'all gonna come and have a good time. Yeah. And I think that's powerful. Yes. And I feel like then a couple months after that, it's me, Andy Lecrae, and Marcus Hollinger, our VP of marketing, and we're at the Spotify cookout during BET weekend, and we're out there with who's who of mainstream hip hop, and Andy's taking pictures with Doja Cat, and we're hanging out with Earth Gang, and we're sharing stories with Coach K, and we're building. And we're unashamed about we love, like it's no.
You're very clearly a Christian in those environments.
Very much so. It's sometimes I remember someone said, "Yo, you so Christian, bro. It's funny." But I'm like, I love Jesus. I'm not gonna hide that or compromise what I'm doing to make me more accessible to you. That's not. In fact, they actually respect it more when you just be who you are. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, y'all, cool, bet, and they rock with it. That's dope. And it's like, we believe in hip hop. We believe in doing what we do, and we're here to make an impact. Yeah. That's dope. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful, bro. Any final thoughts, comments, anything you want to leave with the people before we got to wrap up?
Nah, I'm good, man. Just thank you for having me, bro. It's dope. Just work as hard as you can. Trust God for the results.
Amen. Yo, Ace Harris, man. Really dope dude. Make sure y'all following him on social. We'll link that in the description below. What do you guys think, man? Like, is this stuff practical for you? Is this tangible? Are you convicted about something you need to be doing more? Maybe it is the working as hard as you can, or maybe it is the trusting God for the results. Leave that in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys.